On we go to Nathan Jones of Luton, sticking his thumb up there. And pretty much when he's been in those Luton colours, it has been a big thumbs up. Obviously, problematic little reign for Stoke in between. So Jones, 48, joined Luton in May 2020. That does not tell the story though, does it? Because he was there before. This is his second time at Luton. Promoted from League Two, and he left Luton for Stoke. Luton, I think they were probably at the top of the league. They finished top of the league, and good old Mick Harford, the Luton legend, sort of steered the ship into the Championship. So Jones goes off to Stoke, and Luton then take Graham Jones, who you will have seen working for England all this summer. And Jones absolutely sucks at Stoke. I know Stoke has chewed up and spat out a few managers and players, certainly of recent times, but didn't work. And a very brave and very successful decision by both parties to reconvene. And back comes Nathan Jones to Luton, and they're in trouble. Good run at the end of last season to survive relegation. Last season before last was a 1920 season. And that was a crazy end of the season. Everybody down the bottom there was winning. Wigan, Barnsley, Luton, everyone except Hull, frankly, just went right under, didn't they? And Luton stay up. And then last season, really good. Really, really good. Finished 12th. Barely spend anything. Recruitment's quite smart. Happy to go into the lower divisions. And feels like a little bit of a retooling. And maybe a lot of the players that had got Luton up through the divisions are now not necessarily around anymore, and they've got their Championship squad. I wonder whether Nathan Jones can better that, was it 12th? I'm pretty sure it was 12th, wasn't it? Position with Luton. Interesting. Things will start to get really interesting at Luton if they become top 10 in the Championship, because then you're only a little run away from the playoffs, aren't you? So, yeah, one of these managers who seems to fit perfectly at this club. Let me know your thoughts on Nathan Jones at Luton. Reply if you're a Stoke fan as well. Let me know what they all went wrong there. Off we go to Middlesbrough for the undisputed king of the Championship. Age 72, the legend Neil Warnock, who joined Borough in June 2020 during lockdown, with Jonathan Woodgate succeeding Tony Pulis, who'd the parachute payments had run out, and Woodgate tried to change everything. And we've seen it at a few clubs, mine included, where you take a pragmatic, experienced manager out and try and change everything too quickly. Often. That was the case for Borough. They were, I think when they went into lockdown, they were sort of one place above relegation, but they did drop back in afterwards. Warnock parachuted in. First season there, you can see, 17th, they managed to get them to, and then 10th last season. So even though Warnock will probably think every season he's in the Championship, he should at least be in the playoffs, whoever he's managing, he'd still take them up 7 places in one season. So big improvement, and he's just so wily. I couldn't write down all the clubs. 16 jobs over 35 years, 7 top 4 division promotions. There is another one as Scarborough. There's another promotion outside of the... he wins the conference, doesn't he, as well? Just a winning promotion machine. Some will argue, these older managers get left behind. No, if they're still there for a reason. And okay, they may have some more old-fashioned outlooks, but he gets the job done, Warnock, and it'll be interesting to see how Middlesbrough... can they improve from that 10th? Look, if they go up another 7 places, they're in 3rd. So you wouldn't put anything past the legend, the Championship god, Neil Warnock. Let me know how long Warnock's going for, and is there another promotion in the wily old rascal's head? Let me know. Here is Gary Rowett of Millwall, who is a very experienced manager at 47. I was looking back on the research today. I think he must have been doing this 10 years now, or maybe even longer, starting way back there at Burton. didn't actually... In fact, I'm probably right in saying I don't think he's got a promotion with anyone. I think he came close, possibly lost in the playoffs in League Two with Burton. And I think it might have been Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank that actually got the promotions done. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. I might have been facts in the wrong order. But then off he goes to Birmingham. And you can see in my blurb there, removed by new owners from Birmingham. Then playoff semi-finals with Derby, fired by Stoke, and 8th and 11th at Millwall. Look, there's a lot to say there. I always thought he was quite... I mean, he's still quite pragmatic and fairly... what's the word? Operational in terms of winning football matches. I think there was a sympathy narrative that surrounded his departure from Birmingham that got him a lot of goodwill from fans, which is fair enough. I think they were 7th when he left. But look, lots of teams are 7th in the league at one point and don't end up there. Then off to Derby, and I mean, to be fair, he did all right at Derby, didn't he? But that was at the time where Mel Morris was throwing loads of money at it, and he lost in the playoffs, and they didn't really lay a glove on Fulham in that semi-final in the second leg. I was at both of those games, and they had the lead as well, and just kind of sat in, not like a certain English team that we may have seen last weekend, sat in and let the inevitable happen. Then off to Stoke, and we mentioned Nathan Jones. Didn't work for him at Stoke either. Disastrous. Millwall seems to be a good fit though, and I mean, we look at those numbers: 8th and 11th at Millwall. We're talking about the likes of Coventry trying to stabilise and Luton. Millwall are doing it. They're literally doing it. 8th and 11th. Now look, I know Millwall fans. I've been there loads of times, and the slight little bit where it doesn't add up is they want their teams to go at people. It's the Millwall way, isn't it? Just no fear, brave, just go for it. And sometimes Rowett's pragmatic. Okay, no, we'll sit in and take a draw here. Loves a clean sheet, loves a draw. So sometimes that doesn't totally add up with that working class up and at 'em. We don't care who you are, we'll attack you. And if you're better than us, you'll win. Fine, whatever, but we'll give you a bloody nose while you're doing it. So the numbers do, though, say that this is good. And some couple of years' worth now of interesting, careful recruitment at Millwall. You do just wonder, though, is there a sale? Because as players come in early now, is there a sale of a big guy? We're talking Jed Wallace or Jake Cooper on the way out. But has Rowett got enough, particularly in terms of going and getting wins? And you're looking at sort of between 15 and 20 wins to, really, really be pushing on up that table rather than the 15 or 20 draws that he was getting last season for sure. So, yeah, we will see how Rowett pans out. But the numbers are good. And again, if they're around 8th or 11th, we've got to create some stars. And got to drop off those draws. But let me know how you think Rowett, now 3rd season as well at Millwall, will be going. On we go to another double promoted Championship manager, Chris Hughton, who you can see there with Newcastle and Brighton has been promoted out of this division. Also finished in the playoffs with Birmingham. That was a newly relegated Birmingham. He is, of course, at Forest. Look, two of those promotions are very, very different. The one with Newcastle have been relegated twice in the last sort of 10, 15 years, haven't they? And just completely blitzed the division both times. Nearly 100 points probably on average both times. I don't think it quite got there under Rafa, did they? But Hughton got 100 points, didn't he? I'm pretty sure. That's one thing. The one at Brighton, he built it up slowly, but they did spend. He was backed, and people like Duffy and Knockaert and Murray were all allowed to be brought in, and I think when you added all the bonuses on after they got promoted, I think the FFP was fairly well decimated. But hey, what you're going to do? The Birmingham side as well. It was a newly relegated team, and he lost in the place. He lost to Blackpool in the play. He must have lost to Holloway's Blackpool, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, he's at Forest, and I always get to this point with Forest where they seem to have a sensible manager. I thought Lamucci was quite good. I thought he was quite stoic and pragmatic. Words you'd use to describe Hughton. But yeah, that all went south, didn't it? And he was gone by sort of 5 games into last season. And Houghton, it was slow progress. My contention with Houghton, and this job could prove me wrong, but my sort of idea of him is if you give him a reasonably resourced championship team, he'll challenge. He will. It may be pragmatic. It may be game management and sort of not the most front foot flowing football you'll ever see, but he'll get you challenging. So we'll see now. First full season at Forest, though he had most of a season last season, never managed to really speed right up. I thought they were going to drop right into mid-table at one point, but then tailed off again a little bit at the end. So not quite to his normal championship standards, but he has bossed this league before. Can he do it again? You let me know what you think in the comments. At Forest, there is a big club, but has had some mad ownership decisions going back a long time under the last 2 owners. What was it? Fazawi? I'm trying to figure the first one. Marianakis at the moment loves to sack a manager in January or August or whenever. There you go. Moving on. Darren Ferguson, and you'll recognise that name, obviously son of one of the all-time greats, Sir Alex, but he's forged his own career and a very experienced manager in his own right now at 49, and he's been manager of Peterborough, where, of course, we are dealing with 3 times. And he's got plenty of honours there in terms of 3 League One promotions and 1 League Two promotion. Also, he went off to Preston after one of his good stints. I think maybe the second stint at Peterborough. Am I right? I can't remember. And he's been at Doncaster as well. It feels a little bit like Peterborough are like when we're describing Fulham, lots of promotions into the Premier League, or Norwich or West Brom or something like that. Feels like Peterborough are a little bit like that in terms of League One to Championship, but they've got themselves up again. Like we said, 3 League One promotions, and that must be in sort of 2000. It must be 12 or 13 years they've been up 3 times. They've always managed to fall back out and down into League One, haven't they? Look, we know the model at Peterborough in League One was built around high-scoring League One level strikers, which meant that they could bring in these guys under the promise, if it's Dwight Gale or Assombalonga or Ivan Toney now, Clark Harris, Jack Marriott was there. He's gone back, of course, hasn't he? I think there was a bit of a sense that, look, the whole model is we'll create you loads of chances. You score them, we'll sell you. You get your move, we get paid, the club gets funded, etc., etc. So Ferguson's kind of bought into that whole philosophy and done it well enough to get them promoted 3 times. And here they are again in the Championship. So there's always a sense that someone like Peterborough can score enough goals to do something viable in the division. It's just obviously if you're going to be an attacking League One side and you're not too much balanced and your defence is open, who knows? It'd be interesting to see what changes they make in philosophy in the Championship, or whether it'll just be the Peterborough that we've known nearly men a lot of times in the Championship. But this is an experienced guy, and I'll reiterate my comments about Nathan Jones. A guy being a fit for a club like an Eddie Howe at Bournemouth or a Nathan Jones at Luton. Darren Ferguson is like Mr. Peterborough, isn't he? So there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments. And we move on to talk about Frankie McAvoy, who's a little bit of an unknown quantity for us because, yes, again, I'll bring up Marcus Schopp again, who I've literally never seen a ball of his football kicked. I have seen some Frankie McAvoy because he managed Preston for 8 games last season in caretaker charge. I believe he won 5 of them as well. So he had a hell of a caretaker audition, but he was then made the main man, the boss, in March. And his previous jobs had been, and sharp intake of breath here, first team coach for Alex Neil at Hamilton, Norwich and Preston. So, and I hope I'm proved wrong, good luck to Frankie McAvoy. we are in that realm of, it's the assistant or first team coach been promoted. Does this ever work? Does it? Does it ever? We had Jason Tindall and Dean Holden. Neither of them lasted a cup of tea last season in the same sort of promotion. So, look, good luck to Frankie McAvoy. He's 54, was he? He's 54. He's been around football a long time, but he's inexperienced as a manager. He'd be quite frank about that. He's had 8 games, I think I'm right in saying, for Preston. So, can he buck the trend, and can he be the one name I bring up rather than Jason Tindall or Terry Connor or Kevin Blackwell or Carlos Queiroz or whoever who stepped out from assistant? Steve McLaren. Well, Steve McLaren did fairly well, became England manager for goodness sake. But you know what I'm saying. Can he be the one? Let me know. Will he still be in the job at the end of next season? Let me know. Frankie McAvoy up in the Northwest at Preston. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.